from mechanical care to the care of living systems, the regenerative turn. If the harm was quiet, the correction must be even quieter. No revolt, no overthrow, no declaration that everything we were taught was wrong. Just a slow, deliberate shift in what we believe the body is. From broken parts to living intelligence. The mechanical model trained us to look for failing components, worn surfaces, defective structures. The regenerative frame asks a different starting question. What is this system trying to protect? Not what part is broken, but what pattern has learned danger. The mistake was never biomechanics. Let's be precise. The error was never using biomechanics. The error was mistaking biomechanics for the whole story. It's the difference between a map and a territory, a snapshot and a movie, or a measurement and a meaning. Chronic pain does not live in parts, it lives in patterns. And patterns don't break, they learn. What regenerative care actually means? Regenerative care is not anti-imaging, anti-structure, anti-diagnosis, or anti-medicine. It is anti-reduction. It recognizes that healing emerges when safety increases, agency returns, fear loosens, movement becomes exploratory again, and the nervous system gathers new evidence about the world. Regeneration is not repair, it is re-education. The new clinical skill is not stronger hands, it is wider vision. The future of pain care doesn't belong to the clinician who can mobilize most precisely, correct most aggressively, or align most perfectly. It belongs to the clinician who can detect threat in posture and language, reshape expectation without argument, create safe contradictions to fear, and let the nervous system resolve itself through new experience. This is not softer care, it is deeper care, when the patient stops being a problem to fix. The great quiet shift happens when the patient is no longer treated as a failing mechanism, a deteriorating structure, or a risk to be managed, but as a learning system, carrying a history shaped by meaning and poised for recalibration. At that moment, the clinician is no longer a mechanic. They become a guide through uncertainty. The end of the loop. Chronic pain loops persist when threat remains unquestioned. Structure is treated as destiny, fear is never safely contradicted, and meaning remains frozen in diagnosis. The loop breaks when movement becomes information instead of danger, pain is reinterpreted as protection instead of damage, and the patient participates as an agent instead of a bystander. Not all at once, but enough. What we owe the people who trust us. We owe them more than accurate labels, efficient protocols, and tidy explanations. We owe them humility in what we claim to know, restraint in what we declare permanent, and courage to leave futures open, especially when their nervous systems are already braced for collapse. A quiet pledge. The regenerative turn does not begin in policy, it does not begin in textbooks, it does not begin in technology. It begins in one sentence at a time in how we explain an X-ray or MRI result, in how we describe arthritis, in how we respond to fear, in how we frame a flare, in how much agency we leave on the table. This is where medicine either becomes a trap or a doorway. My patient did not need her arthritis denied. She needed it decentered. She did not need her pain dismissed. She needed it reframed. She did not need to be fixed. She needed to feel safe enough to adapt again. And that is the quiet revolution now unfolding inside modern pain care. Not the repair of broken parts, but the liberation of living systems from stories that no longer serve them. Chronic pain does not persist because the body fails to heal. It persists when the system is never allowed to learn that it is safe to change.